Right, so what is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel, and welcome back to another first ride review. Today we are down here at the amazing guys at Bournemouth Kawasaki, who are very kindly letting me ride this bike today. Now, it is a very big amount dirty, obviously being a demo bike, and the weather here in England is going to be dirty, so excuse that. But today we have the Kawasaki Ninja 1100 SX. So this is Kawasaki's kind of top of the line touring bike, obviously below the H2 SX, which features an 1100cc engine. Got some nice little bits on it like Olan's and all that. So yeah, this is my first ever time riding one of these, so we will take a look around the bike, go through the stats, then get on the road and see how it is. So thanks for stopping by, guys. I hope you enjoy the video. Let's talk about the bike. Now, this bike comes in at £12,249, which is a lot of money in a way, but to be honest, for what it is, it's not too bad really. So that's quite decent on the price. That will go up to £13,999 for the SC, which has just a few more fancy bits on it. The horsepower on this is 134.1 brake horsepower to be precise, and it weighs in at about 235 kg. So quite a heavy bike, but being a tourer, that's about right really, and that tends to kind of be what they are at. And this one has now, for the 1100cc, originally this was a 1000 SX, so that has been boosted in cc's. We have some Brembo calipers here, which is nice, and it now comes with an Olin shock on the rear there, which is proper nice. The sound of that smooth inline 4-cylinder burbles into life. Now, obviously being a sports tourer, whilst it may look slightly like a sport bike, obviously it is a touring bike, so we have some nice raised handlebars for added comfort, heated grips and the like, and you can also get luggage for the bike. Jump on, immediately obviously feels extremely comfortable. Feels quite wide on the legs, but nothing too crazy. Let's get on the road. There's always such a smooth feeling to the Kawasaki inline 4-cylinder. Even just the way it idles feels smooth and premium, and it's immediately very easy to ride. Quick shifter feels beautiful, very smooth, easy to handle. Clutch feels nice, and yeah, it never fails to amaze me how incredibly smooth the Kawasaki inline 4-cylinder is. It really is perfect for a touring motorcycle, because it's pleasant, pleasurable, easy, and yeah, no dramas about this engine. And immediately you can feel how damn smooth the thing is. Auto blipper down as well, that feels extremely smooth, of course. Yeah, around town, even though it's, you know, a big cc bike, 20 mile an hour and traffic is very easy and manageable on this bike, which is a lovely bonus. And whilst we're at town, we can test the cruise control. So just press there, and then we set it like that. And just like that, there you go, cruise control doing its thing. Obviously no radar cruise control on this bike, as yeah, that's normally kind of 20k plus, but very standard system, very easy to use, like most bikes. You press the start cruise control there, and then you can plus speed at the top, or you can lower speed at the bottom there, and it works very well, very seamlessly. And all you got to do when you want to intervene, tap the brake, and you're back in control of it. Yeah, faultless really. And generally speaking, it's quite a good looking bike. I like that it kind of has sport bike looks to it, because I think a lot of naked bikes are kind of plagued in sports tourers with a bit ugly looks really, and you know, subject to opinion, some people like them, other people's don't. But with this being a Ninja branded item, having the sports bike looks on it is a big bonus for it. And the paintwork on this is really nice. You can kind of see the green metallic flake there, which looks super nice in a tiny bit of sun that's poking through the clouds. But yeah, I think it's a very good looking bike. Initial impressions from a small ride I've done already is it's incredibly good for town riding. The mannerisms on this bike really are beautiful. We can go a little in detail on some of the stuff on it. You know, heated grips are standard. You got the little toggle on the grips there, which is nice and clean. We've got the cruise control. We have different mode selects, so you will hold this down here. We see what we've got. So we've got rain mode. We have, so that's the lowest level obviously, and we have a road mode. Hold down again. Then we got the sport mode. Right, so some bonuses on this bike. Obviously, with it being a touring bike, you can have screen adjustments. So this is currently in the top position. You've got this little tab there. If you push that down, it will go there and locks into place, and vice versa. If you pull it down, then you can push the screen up to get a little more height. I'm going to have it in raised position, like so. Let's get it fired up anyway. There's a little look at the bike. Get back on the road now. Let's take a listen. So obviously standard exhaust, big N can, Euro 5 and all that jazz, so nothing too loud, but you can tell with a pipe it sounds very good. Obviously, you've got a bit of intake howl kind of from up here. Yeah, there she is. Let's jump back on, head to some more country roads so we can enjoy the bike a bit more and see how it is. Right, so whilst we are stationary for a second, you have the option to turn between dark and daytime display colour at the touch of a button, which is nice. Obviously black for night time, all white for daytime, but I choose to have black anyway because it looks cooler. But yeah, let's feel the power. And yeah, it is very, very fast. You know, on paper 135 brake horsepower nowadays doesn't actually sound like a lot, especially considering the weight of the bike, but yeah, it is still impressively fast. It really does pull, and that quick shifter is just so seamless. Obviously we do have heated grips here as well. Looks like you have 3 levels, but it's a bit warm for that today, so I will not be testing that out in this video. But now we get to some nice twisty roads, so we can have a feel how the bike handles. Yeah, you definitely get a good rasp from of intake howl, which I comment on a lot on the channel. I know some people don't like it, but as I always say, if you're not a fan of the intake noise that a bike makes, you're most likely going to put a full exhaust system on it anyway, and when you do that you won't be able to hear it. But for the people that want to keep the exhaust standard, it is very nice, as obviously this bike is so quiet, and we only have the European laws to blame for that, but the intake howl that the rider gets gives that just a bit more character to the bike, and that bit more enjoyment. The lack of exhaust noise kind of seeps away from you, so it kind of means that you do get that bit of noise as the rider, so you can enjoy it, but it's not too loud from an outsider's perspective. And yeah, wow, for the weight, it, like a lot of bikes, they may be heavy and you notice that when stationary or slow speed maneuvers. But this bike, you really forget about that weight when you're on the move, and it feels incredibly flickable, and it actually handles pretty damn nice considering the bars are so raised. And the Sports Tourers always do a pretty good job of handling a lot better than you would expect them to. And I mean, of course it's not on a sport bike level, but it still feels incredibly confidence inspiring to lean in the corners. You don't particularly feel unnerving to be leaning it in, which is a very nice bonus. So yeah, handling so far feels good. The mirrors are so-so. I mean, obviously they don't look the best. I get a decent view on the left, although you just kind of get elbow on the right side, which isn't really ideal. The screen on the front, I would argue, doesn't look the best either, but that's kind of just me trying to pick at flaws really. When you get to some nice open roads like this, it does not hang around at all. It's so windy, I'm worried about how much you can actually hear of this, but when you open that throttle, wow does it take off. Obviously being an inline 4-cylinder, you have to let it rev a bit, but it's got a good amount down low. You don't at all feel like you're waiting for it to spool up. It does feel very linear through the rev range, and that's one thing Kawasaki do extremely well with their inline 4-cylinders. They are always fueled to perfection. They always deliver their power so effortlessly but so smoothly, and this bike is definitely showing that for me. Oh yeah, it really leans in nicely actually. It's great fun on a twisty road like this. And of course you have plenty of overtaking power. But you know, when you don't want to go so quick, it's extremely pleasant. So smooth. You really don't get much vibration through the bars or the pegs or anything. There's very little vibration, and this really does feel super plush. You could just chill on this bike for days, you know. You could ride to the other side of the country and back, and I don't feel like you would really bat an eyelid at it too much. And then, you know, that with the cruise control, like I've already shown you, it's just effortless, you know. If you're doing long motorway miles, eating those miles, you can just kind of sit back, relax, you know, obviously keep an eye on what's ahead of you and stuff, but it's just very pleasant. And as well, pillion, this would be amazing. I'm not going to recommend you do this, but that rear pillion seat is incredibly plush, incredibly soft. You're very upright, which is a nice bonus, and in fact, to be honest, that pillion seat felt softer and more comfortable than the actual rider seat. So yeah, plenty of room back there. You saw in the intro, the pillion seat is very accommodating, so it's also a big thumbs up for the pillion of the bike. I'll try and really tuck myself in behind this screen so you can listen to the noise of it. Yeah, excuse the camera angle when I do that, but just want to kind of give you a bit of a enjoyment of the noise of the bike. Tell that airbox tower is very nice, and the closer you get, the louder it is. This bike ticks all the boxes. You definitely don't at all feel like it needs more power. I would be interested to compare this to a H2SX, as I can imagine that thing would be absolutely ridiculous. And probably for a road like that, you might slightly feel like you've got a bit too much power, whereas this, you can kind of make the most of the bike without it being too much really. So yeah, it's quite a nice power level, this bike, and it doesn't at all struggle to cruise at the right speed as well, you know. 70 mile an hour, 80 mile an hour, and I mean, if you're fancying going to the autobahn on this bike, it sits very pleasantly and very comfortably at the higher speeds, which is a huge bonus, because of course this bike is designed to be a tourer, so you want to be able to have a bike that can sit at higher speeds for a long amount of time without feeling like it's straining too much and without feeling like the bike's trying too hard. And this bike does an amazing job of that, and that is the beauty of these sports tourers. You can ride all the way to Italy at high speeds, motorways, and the bike be perfect, you'd be nice and chilled out, not too strained or anything, and it feel effortless to do that kind of mileage. But then when you do get to some nice twisty mountain roads, you also have that sporty side of the bike that means you can really enjoy it when you get to those nice roads and not feel as if you wish you were on something that was a bit more capable. And yeah, it's a nice Jekyll and Hyde character, and almost the perfect Jekyll and Hyde character, because it can do a bit of everything. And not to mention that, yes, it likes doing motorway miles, but it's also incredibly capable when it comes to slow speed town riding. So if you wanted to just have this as your all-round bike, do the trips here and there, but also commute to work on, it is absolutely perfect for it. You know, you see here in traffic, 30 mile an hour, 4, 5, 6, quick shifter, absolutely faultless. And it does it so easily, it does kind of everything easily, and it's such a good package, this bike. It's kind of got a bit of everything, and a pretty decent price, I think. You know, it's not a cheap amount of money, don't get me wrong, but for what you're getting for your money, this does seem like a really good value bike. So yeah, I think if you're on the boat about buying this bike, will it do a bit of everything? It for sure will. And is it by no means boring in the twisties? It feels extremely capable, and it is also extremely quick. So yeah, this bike is ticking a lot of boxes. Yeah, I'm really impressed with the brakes on this. Obviously it's got the upgraded Brembo calipers. We've got a standard Nissan master cylinder at the front, but the brake feel on that front is super nice. You know, it really has a lot of power, but it's not too snatchy. It comes on kind of the perfect amount of gradualness, I would say. Like, it's very nice and gradual. Definitely has the power to raise that front wheel as well if you wanted. Obviously I'm not going to do that in this video, as this is a demo bike. There's a few little bits of Kawasaki's that I always wish were a bit more premium, as weird as it sounds, like the gas cap. I'm not the biggest fan of the gas caps on Kawasaki's, and you know, whether you buy a 125 or a ZX-10R, they all come with these rather plastic, ugly looking gas caps, or well, gas caps, petrol caps I should say, as I am English, not American. You can tell I watch a lot of American YouTube. Yeah, around here maybe, you know, the dash is brilliant. The colour TFT on this bike is really brilliant. Most of kind of upper range Kawasaki's all share that same screen. The screen looks great. The front screen looks a bit to me, and kind of around this area the bike looks a bit funky, but like I say, it's a sports tourer. It's never going to be the most beautiful bike. You know, if you wanted a beautiful bike, you'd just be buying a sport bike, really, wouldn't you? That's not what this bike ready for, and generally speaking, for a sports tourer anyway, it does look really good, so can't complain about that too much. But other than the looks of the bike, mechanically and the way it rides, I haven't got one fault on it, honestly. It is pretty much perfect. Someone like me, I would probably rather get a H2SX, not that I've ridden one, but I'm a bit of a speed freak, I suppose. But you definitely don't accelerate on this bike and think, yeah, this is slow. By no means is it slow, it really pulls. So yeah, what an amazing bike, pretty much faultless. Right, so there we go guys, we have made it back to Kawasaki. Again, huge thank you to the guys here, always very accommodating and always very happy to let me take out a bike for review. And this one in particular was amazing, very thoroughly impressed with that. That would, just such a perfect all-round commute. daily rider, big trips, and also fun twisty roads. This bike is extremely good. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy, and let me know what bikes do you want to see me try and do next. I do know that I get occasional requests that I haven't managed to get to, and obviously certain dealerships are more friendly with than others when it comes to me reviewing the bikes, and obviously still early days of the channel, so some bikes are a bit difficult to do. But yeah, do let me know and I will try my best. As always guys, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for plenty more videos like this to come, and I hope to see you next time. Cheers guys.